Audience member challenges Labour MPs on BBC Question Time sparks debate on policy and accountability. In a lively episode of BBC's Question Time, an impassioned audience member sparked national attention after he directly confronted members of the Labour Party panel, raising sharp criticisms over what he described as unfulfilled promises and a growing disconnect between politicians and the people they aim to serve. This unexpected but respectful challenge became a focal point of the night, prompting thoughtful exchanges, genuine reactions from the panel, and applause from fellow audience members. But as the clip gained traction online, it quickly became clear that this was about more than a single moment. It was a reflection of a broader public mood. The man, a Welsh audience member speaking calmly but firmly, used his opportunity to speak truth to power by sharing his personal frustrations about the current state of public services, the cost of living crisis, and what he perceived as political doublespeak. Although he made a point not to target Labour exclusively, much of his commentary was directed at the representatives from the party, who he felt had not lived up to the hopes many voters had placed in them. He expressed concern that politicians across the spectrum, and particularly those aiming to lead the country, have become too comfortable making promises during campaigns and too slow to act once in office. Citing real-world struggles faced by working-class families, he called out what he viewed as performative politics that fails to translate into results at street level. His key message was clear: voters are no longer willing to accept slogans and soundbites in place of real solutions. This message seemed to resonate with several members of the studio audience, many of whom applauded his remarks. One could sense that his words echoed a shared frustration, the feeling that despite all the political messaging, not enough is changing where it matters most. The Labour MPs on the panel responded with a mix of acknowledgement and clarification. One MP pointed to Labour's recently announced proposals to improve the National Health Service and invest in affordable housing. Another emphasized the party's energy cap policy and plans to tackle inflation. They stressed that their platform is not just aspirational, but actionable, and that they are listening carefully to voices like his. Still, it was evident that rebuilding public trust remains a steep challenge. The exchange underscored the thin line between political intention and public perception. Even well-meaning policy plans can fall flat if people don't see results or feel heard in the process. What stood out most during the conversation was not anger, but sincerity. The audience member was passionate, yes, but also respectful and clear. His remarks were not framed in hostility but in disappointment, which arguably made them all the more powerful. He wasn't trying to score political points, he wanted answers, accountability, and change. As the discussion continued, other audience members joined in, adding their own perspectives. One individual urged caution against painting all politicians with the same brush and advocated for more patience and deeper civic understanding. Another suggested that the real issue lies in the lack of cross-party collaboration, particularly on urgent issues like healthcare, housing, and education. These interventions helped balance the tone of the discussion, keeping it rooted in dialogue rather than division. The moment also offers insight into the increasingly important role public forums like Question Time play in UK democracy. In an age of media soundbites and online algorithms, these live, unscripted interactions between citizens and politicians serve as an essential platform for accountability. They allow real people to voice concerns that too often go unheard in party conferences or political press briefings. Recent studies show why this matters. According to a 2024 Ipsos Mori survey, only 22% of UK citizens said they trust politicians to tell the truth, a record low. In this context, the raw honesty of audience members can act as a necessary check on political discourse. It reminds politicians that credibility isn't earned through speeches, but through consistency, transparency, and follow-through. In many ways, the Welsh audience member who spoke up wasn't attacking or insulting the MPs, he was challenging them to do better. And while that challenge was pointed, it was also constructive. It opened the door for real engagement and underscored the public's desire to see tangible progress rather than rhetorical posturing. In the end, this was more than a viral moment. It was a meaningful exchange between a concerned citizen and elected officials, a microcosm of democratic accountability at work. What did you think of this exchange? Do you believe politicians are doing enough to engage with and listen to the public? Or does this moment reflect a deeper crisis in trust? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this analysis helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with more fact-based breakdowns of political events and key public moments across the UK. Until next time, stay informed, stay respectful, and stay engaged.